Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brennan Brown, and today we're just going to be talking about how to make the right decisions and think for yourself. So the best way on how to make the right decision and think for yourself in reality is you have to be unique. You have to be yourself. You can't worry about what other people are thinking. You can't worry about the fear of what this person may be doing or what this outcome may be. You have to decide on your own what's going to work for you, what's going to be definitive for you, and what's going to be the main answer for your keys in life. First way on how to make the right decisions and think for yourself is you have to stop being small-minded. For example, today at school we had a local restaurant came, a big franchise restaurant that came, one of the local ones down here that came to us, gave us some food, gave us a lot of good things. And when I told a close person after school about it, they had said that, oh, well, that's good, that means you can just go get a job there. In reality, actually, I wasn't trying to get a job there. My plans actually is to make connections with the owner. I talked to the owner. He had liked my personality. I like his personality. We networked. I gave him my podcast card so he can know about the podcast and everything. And boom, boom, we build connections. Maybe I can become a public speaker, represent their franchise for that area down here where I'm at in South Carolina, in Charleston. But for you as the audience, to learn from that is don't be small-minded. Think big. When you meet people, don't think about that one thing. Or like when you're doing something, don't just think about what that is now. Look forward to it in the future. Like for example, I always say this. There are close people in my life that I've always said that has limited beliefs. And sometimes not that they do it to be mean or aggressive. Sometimes they just do it because it's out of their intention. And that can be with your life too, sometimes with the close people in your life, whether it's family, friends, whoever. And I just want you to know that don't let their beliefs nor your beliefs limit you. Think big. Think extraordinary. Don't just worry about, oh, well, because I met the owner, I might get a job there. No, think bigger. Because you met the owner, you might can do something more. I'm not saying you can get a bigger position, but you might can do something to represent their brand or to become something that's never been done and you're the first person to do it. Like for example, I met the owner. I might become their motivational speaker. He would like to sit down and drink coffee with me. That's good. And right there, that goes to my next one, which is be you. Be authentic. Be yourself. Don't copy others, because when you be you, people like that. Like that guy, he had liked me because I'm myself. A lot of people goes over towards me or may communicate with me because they know I'm a nice person. I'm a real person. I'm a loyal friend. I'm not the type of person who would just be like, hey, this and that, or run my mouth to this wrong person, like that. I'm a jokester. I laugh sometimes, but I'm a person who'll be real and authentic with you. I'll rather sit down and do a one-on-one conversation about life with you and give you some advice because that's just my purpose. Like what I'm doing now, big motivational speaker. That's why I'm doing the podcast, because I'm passionate about self-improvement and mostly just running my mouth and talking, because when I first started, I didn't do self-improvement, but now I'm doing self-improvement. Which brings me to the next one, which is you have to ignore the haters and listen to the right people. And now, I've been doing it for almost really 3 years. And look where it's got me. Connections with people online, people I interview, and even people in person. Like I said, once again, I'm going to keep referencing that. The owner, I showed him the card. He had liked me. He had liked my personality. Like I said, when you be yourself, things will go great. All you got to do is just be yourself. And you're 100% okay. But also, when it comes to listening to the right people and ignoring the haters, you have to surround yourself with the positive people, because where are you going to find the right people? By surrounding yourself with the right people. Don't surround yourself with negativity or people who aren't trying to help you, or people who may want to help you but aren't helping you in the right way. Like for example, I've always referenced this a lot. Some close people in my life, they're nice, but sometimes when they say things, it's not necessarily good, and it's not necessarily leading with a good expansive mind. Sometimes it can lead to you thinking like them because their mindset can sometimes be small-minded. Now that's some of the people I know who are close in my life. They are small-minded, and some of them are big, large-minded. But I'm just referencing those who I'm talking about that are small-minded. You have to surround yourself with the right people. And with people in general, the next thing is you got to be getting away from that fear tactic. Like for example, if a person tells you, you better do this, or you're not gonna get this. At the end of the day, they don't have no control of you. And even with your parents in general too, they don't have a certain extent of control to you. Like I said on one of my recent episodes, just because you're a teenager doesn't mean you don't have control. You can do things. Just because your parents may say, hey, you may need to do this because it's not working, you need to try out both scenarios and then see. And if you like the scenario mainly that the one they hate, guess what? Still try it, because if it's working, if it's growing, go do it. I always say, go with what the Lord leads you to, because I'm a Christian personally. It's not about what your mindset is, because that's what people like to say, successful gurus like to say, go with what your mindset is or what you did. No. For me, as a successful person, as a Christian, I am a successful Christian podcast host who puts God first in everything. I'm not religious, but I put my faith in God because He does everything for me. People can tell me this, people can tell me that, but at the end of the day, God is what dictates what I do. Some people may think all you gotta do is read the Bible. No. You don't have to just read the Bible. Read the Bible, yes, that's guaranteed. You need to read that, but there's other ways to talk to God or grow your relationship with God or grow your knowledge into the Lord. By sharing it, by learning by others, by praying. Reading a simple little encouragement, book isn't the only way. Sometimes people get mixed up by doing things just to do it without trying to actually dissect and learn from it. Like, for example, maybe you want to become a good athlete. You can't expect to become an athlete in a month. It takes months and dedications and years and weeks maybe to become a great athlete. Just like going back to me as a Christian. I can't just read the Bible and think, oh, that's getting me closer to God. That's a big slap in the face of God if I think about that. If I want to grow in the Lord, I gotta also share it, live it, preach it, pray, maybe even fast, have faith, all of those chunks with mainly reading the Bible. You gotta diversify what you're doing. That's all. You gotta diversify what you're doing. Just like with building your network, which is our next one. Build your network of success by starting some projects that you always wish to do, or connect with people that you always want to connect with, or etc. If you really want to start that business or that YouTube channel, start it. If you really want to go try out for that new sport, try it. If you really want to go in person to school, connect with others, if you really want to talk to that girl you like, or vice versa, that girl, if you're watching this, if you want to go talk to that guy you want, go do it. With this whole episode, it all goes back to what Jordan Green says about stop thinking realistically and think delusionally. It may be kind of funny, but that's a saying, like, you know, thinking delusional, you're more successful than thinking realistic, something like that. I don't know. Jordan Green, a reference on his video. If you want to go check it out, please click the link down below. But I'm not quoting him or anything, I'm just paraphrasing here. But yeah, that's what he basically said, you know, thinking realistically and actually think delusionally, or think with an expansive mindset, than trying to think realistically or have a low mindset. And then there are some people who have an expansive mindset but are still small-minded, or some vice versa, who think delusionally but are realistic or something, you know. So like, you gotta find how to get out that balance, realize that you have to be expansive no matter what. Don't think realistically. Don't think that you can think by what you're seeing now or what your intuition is, but don't think realistically. Really think for yourself. I'm not trying to quote or trying to say that I'm following what Jordan Green's saying, or that I think Jordan Green's what, because a lot of people like to say, oh, you go by what this person said. No. That's not who I am. I don't go by what a person says. Just because I'm a teenager doesn't mean I listen to every single person outside my household and I think they're right. No. I'm not that type of teenager. I am Brendan Brown, and I take in what successful people say, and some things I may take out, because just like my parents or grandparents, whoever it is, everybody can say the bad thing or a good thing, and you have to know when to take it in or take it out. I'm not saying that everybody is bad or everybody is good, but we all are human, which is my last one. We're all human. We have to understand that in life we're going to make mistakes. In life there's things that's going to occur, and then in life sometimes we may need to just work on things to do better with, but sometimes it's a mental game. I just want you to know that we make mistakes. And we can't just think that because they're always wrong, that they're bad. You gotta give people a chance. Yes, you can get mad at them because we're human. Yes, you can get angry, but you gotta realize that if that person is constantly doing that thing bad, they gotta learn for their own. You can tell them as much as you can, even this goes us as teenagers, for parents, who are watching this. You can tell your kid as much as you want to what they're doing, but if they're not gonna do it, they're not gonna do it. They have to learn their own. It's good to give them advice. It's good to prevent what's gonna happen. 100%. I agree with that, but you can't stop them from what they're going to do. Just like if they're a grown adult, you can't stop your kid what you're going to do. Vice versa in real life too, outside the parenting side. You can't make your friend, your brother, your sister, whoever do what they want to do for your glory, your perception of what you see. You gotta let them just go on their own in life. That's my words of how I say it. But for some people, they may go aggressive, they may go mad, they may use fear as a tactic. I've dealt with that personally in my life with some people who I'm not going to reference here, but they have used fear to get you to the so-called say, if you do this, you're respectful. If you do this, you're disrespecting. And in life, sometimes, you just got to learn that if a person's using fear on you, sometimes either just listen to them to make them look like the dummy, or sometimes say no. Sometimes you got to stand for yourself. You got to say no, because if you don't, sometimes that person may know that if you are like that, they'll try to use you or do that the next moment. And when it comes to you standing up for yourself, this goes with any age level. Don't look at all ages. Oh, because they're this age, I gotta respect them. Always respect somebody that's older than you, rather your teen, 20s, 30s, whatever. But also know that if a person is disrespecting you, you have the right to tell them what they're doing wrong. Don't just yell at them, but tell them what they're doing wrong. Sometimes we may have to raise our voice. Sometimes we may have to talk in order for them to listen, because even for us as teenagers, people may not listen to us. Oh, yeah, you're young. But if you're just slamming us like a dog, and we're not able to say nothing, how else are we able to get our opinions out? Vice versa for us as teens, how are we able to listen to our parents if we keep thinking that, oh, they're always mean, they're always negative? You can't think that. There has to be a foreground for the parents, or mainly just the adults in general, rather they're teachers, whatever, or even just bosses, however they are, that manage the youth. And the youth, vice versa, teens, everybody has to find that foreground and know what's going on. And even vice versa, other things too. Like, for example, maybe it can just be somebody who is doing YouTube and this other person is telling them don't do YouTube. Find the foreground and know. Sometimes we have to say no because we have to stand for ourselves, because like in the Bible, there's a time to do this, there's a time to do that, there's a time to talk, there's a time to, but overall, no matter what age it is, you have to stand up for yourself. Because I personally believe, in my own opinion, that I don't look at age when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're yelling at me like a donkey, I'm gonna tell you, listen, you are disrespectful. You are doing this wrong. Rather if you're an adult, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and just talk to you and be like, oh, stupid, you did. No, that ain't me. Because see, with me, I'm not perfect, I'm human. I get angry too, but I try to come to that foreground. But when I see a person constantly hitting hard, I'm gonna start hitting hard too, because you're feeding off that energy. And when you're constantly feeding off the energy and not finding the foreground, it gets you nowhere. Versus when you're just actually being nice and actually figuring out what to do, that things will actually come to the foreground. That's how I am. And with you, maybe you're not like that, but you need to be like that too. Find the foreground. Don't be me, of course, but find the foreground to peace. You can't think that you can't express yourself because they are this and that. They are your boss. They are maybe you're an adult. They maybe you're this and that. If they're wrong, they're wrong. I humbly, I 100% agree that if you're a teen, that if you're an adult, does not mean nothing. You can be an adult and be the dumbest person in the room, and a 13-year-old, maybe 14-year-old can be smarter than you. Maybe even a 20-year-old can be smarter than you. You can be like a 40-year-old adult, for example. Or maybe be a 20-year-old adult and still be dumb. 60-year-old dumb, still be dumb. Just because you have an age doesn't mean you have the respect and honor that you should get. Just because I'm saying this, I'm wrong. Like, I feel that maybe I might be wrong, but the stigma, I feel that because they're saying nowadays kids don't understand respect. But remember now, think about it, in the past, kids are being raised rough by abuse. Or not really abuse, I should say. They like to say, that's what society say now, abuse. It was really discipline. I believe that was good discipline, but sometimes you may need that. But I think that type of discipline is only for emergency use. Most of the time, parents should come to the foreground. And I think it's a cultural thing because you see it more in the minority groups, especially groups of color, really. Rather if it's African American, Hispanic. And some races that are white, of course, do that too. But it's a cultural thing. Sometimes just culturally, and just people in general, because I'm not looking at the race here, you have to find that foreground to talk with your kid. The teen has to find that foreground. Even in life, who you're dealing with, you have to find that foreground with that person, whoever you are as the viewer. Like I say, just because they have this title in your brain doesn't mean nothing. Society makes it that because you're an adult you have to do this, or because you're a teen you have to do that, or because you're white you have to do that, or because you're black. Don't let nothing deteriorate you. Because I'm a teen, do I have to 100% bow down and say I apologize? Even if I get angry, I apologize? No. Embrace getting upset if you do. You're human. You get mad if you do something wrong, guess what? All they gotta do is either hit me, A, or B, just tell me, Brennan, you're doing something wrong, you're wrong, you're being rude. And I'll learn. And then from the next mistake I can learn. Just like with you. If you get upset, it's okay. If you get sad, it's okay. People like to say, oh, you shouldn't be getting sad, especially if you're a man, you shouldn't be getting sad. We're human. When will people realize that? We're human. If we get sad, it's okay. If we get mad, it's okay. If us as teens get angry at our adults or get sad and want to express to someone, it's okay. And I don't care what nobody thinks. I will always be that person to take in and listen to you. I have a whole email that you can email me all the time through the website or through my personal email down below. I'll answer them. Email me through the website. I got an email newsletter. You can type in, put your name in, and I can probably hear what you got to say, a request. Yeah, it's right there on the screen. Should be. And then I got my personal email if you just want to email me right through there, through your, or really my YouTube business Gmail for this channel. You are human. Embrace it. It doesn't make you less of a man if you cry. It doesn't make you an angry black woman if you get upset. You are human. Your race, your age, doesn't matter nothing. People say nowadays kids are rude. Oh, nowadays it's this and that. Shut up with that bull crap. Because at the end of the day, it ain't so much the kids. It's sometimes the parents and the household. It ain't just the kids themselves. Just like back then, it ain't been the parents who just been abusing everything. Sometimes it was the kids who led themselves to getting hit back then because that was the way. And if they would have listened, maybe things would be alright. And once again, if parents and kids found the foreground, things would be great in a snap. I just want you to learn from this episode. Don't matter what your age is, whatever it is, embrace who you are. Don't care what nobody thinks. Take in the right advices to listen into and understand that we're human.